We got Trev over here drumming during the countdown chatter. Chatter here is just to wait for our fans to join us here at Topic today. We don't like to kick a man while he's down, but we are going to talk about Joe Judge getting axed after they came out publicly saying that he was going to be kept. I was excited. I thought it would be great for them to keep him around, much like the Cowboys kept around the Clapper for several years. You love to see mediocre coaches in the opposing, benches. What do you guys think about Joe Judge getting fired days after, the announcement that he was going to be on the team?
There's no way that you fire your GM and bring in a new GM and have him have the leftover coach, right? You're going to bring in your own guy. So sayonara. I am sad to see him go, but he doesn't deserve an NFL job after doing a quarterback
QB sneak
on third and
9
8 from the 4.
Maybe go back to special
horrible.
Teams where he came from. I mean, if he still wants to coach, he had success with that, I guess. But head coaching job, they did his bag, baby.
There is now no Bill Belichick tree, coaches out there.
None of his coaches that leave
NFL.
his cult up there succeed on their own. They don't. I don't care how good of a coach is.
I really wish I can give credit for this tweet that I saw, but someone said that it's the Bill Belichick's like the grandma who has that recipe, gives you the recipe, but leaves out the one ingredient. So that way when you make it, there's always something off.
Yep. Brian
and that's exactly what's happened with all these other coaches there.
Yep.
Well, when we come back, it's episode 51 of Ref the District right here on our channels.
I'm a pretty bad kid.
Yeah, let's talk about the bigger picture. Let's talk about how we be ballin', playing with the Wizards. Let's talk about the Nets and how they always got good pitches. Let's talk about the cats who rescue, turn them boys to winners. Injuries and updates, oh yeah. To the opponent, we stand toe to toe, yeah. To the top, this podcast gonna go, yeah. I think it's something you should know, yeah.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to episode 51 of Ref the District. I'm Nathan Perry, and joining me, as always, my co-host. First, we got Trev, Moneyline Stores.
That's right, boys. The season is over. Let's talk about it.
It is done. And we also have Stoner, who doesn't have a 401k anymore. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's all right. You just got to check out All Bets Aside on Sunday, where we had a little bit of fun. It's our new betting show that we have on our channel. And Stoner's Lock of the Week did not pan out the way that he thought it would. Nah, and I'm glad that I told people do not do what Stoner is telling you to do. And I hope Stoner didn't do what he was telling people to do.
He definitely did.
Not pan out. Did not pan out.
I'm not responsible for what you all do with your money. I'm just trying to give you tips. And if you actually spent your 401k and bet it on a football game, that's on you, not on me.
We do say bet responsibly when we do.
You did say that, but you also told the people to not listen to us, but only listen to you.
Yeah.
And your tip was to bet the 401k. So if you want people to listen to your tips, they're going to bet their 401k.
That's not the only place he went wrong. And now I'm going to leave that as a teaser for now, because I'm just going to finish out the rest of the housekeeping here. So we stream live, changing it up a little bit. So we've moved the time for our stream to 7:30. Just a half hour change there. We're hoping more people are able to join us this way. Helps us out a little bit as well. Same great content we're going to be bringing you. Only it's now going to be straight focus on the Washington football team on our Wednesday show. We were still going to bring you all the great talk as far as all of the DC sports on our channel. So we're still going to keep reffing the entire district on the channel. The flagship program here, the Wednesday podcast that you can find on all audio platforms, that is going to be Washington football team specific. But you'll find some other videos, much like our Deshaun Watson video that came out yesterday. will be posted throughout the week, and those will have sometimes Caps focus, sometimes Wizards focus, which will actually have a Wizards focus one coming out later this week as they've hit the halfway point of the season, playing right now as well. So those are big things that were coming up here. Want to give a shout out to those who are in the chat. We got EP, P-Dub, and Big Moves. Timus. Always enjoy those. Oh, I can't forget my mom's out there as well. Let's see her in the sea of comments. We appreciate everyone who's joining us. Lots of people had things to say about our video yesterday on Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Lots of people. You'll notice Trev is wearing a hat because some of those comments were geared towards.
That's not why I'm wearing a hat. I'm still balled up under this hat. I don't give a damn. I'm just wearing a hat because it's who I am.
Because it's cold outside, right?
Yeah, even though I'm inside.
Yeah, that's right.
So, as you can see here on our graphic, we are going to cool down with some NFL playoff talk. During the game, we're going to be talking about the year in review, and there we're actually going to hit some of these questions that Big Moves you got in the chat right now. We will be getting to those, but we're going to warm up just with some friendly banter about that college football playoff game, Georgia versus Alabama, and a recap. And remember that little teaser that I had out there about how that wasn't the only time that Stoner was wrong. Stoner, right. Who did you tell our listeners to bet on?
Yeah, man.
Well, unless you can prove otherwise, I said put all your money on Georgia.
I can prove otherwise. There is a video. There's graphical evidence out there as well. I actually could probably bring up the graphic right now.
No, it's all right. Yeah. No, I thought Alabama was going to win this game. I mean, when you just look at two teams that are very even, it usually just comes down to the quarterback. That's my philosophy. But in this case, the senior former walk-on outperformed the Heisman Trophy winner. It's just it happened that way, and also the defense for Georgia was fantastic. But usually I go for the team that has the better quarterback, but I was wrong in this case. Okay, I was wrong. Whatever.
I don't know that he's the better quarterback right now because Bennett's showing up drunk to his interview.
Man, that was hilarious. As he should have, man. He went through hell and high water to get to where he was on Monday night.
He did.
He deserves to be hammered on live TV. That was dope.
Yeah, it was absolutely something to behold there. Watching that young man try to just get through that interview.
Yeah,
he needed an IV.
Yeah, he did. But good for him. He's 21, right?
Got a question.
Got an answer.
Do you think maybe Nick Saban or Alabama will look to a new strength and conditioning or something, or maybe some heavier wide receivers? Because their wide receivers are all very little and fragile, and they blow out their knees very easily. They get injured very easily.
Well,
Devontae Smith was one of them. Like, remember how small he is? He's
right, but he didn't blow out his knee, right?
No, but Jameson Williams, John Mechie, they're all.
Yeah, but I have a counter to that.
I know, it's just a question.
Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith,
Amari
Cooper, Henry
Amari
Suggs.
Who? Amari who?
Cooper.
Cupia.
Henry Suggs. Who else am I forgetting?
Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, the guy for Vegas.
Yeah, Ruggs, not Suggs.
Yeah, you said
Suggs.
Did I
say Suggs?
Ruggs.
Oh, sorry. Henry Ruggs.
Suggs is a linebacker. And
so you take all those. You take all those guys. I mean, it happens once in a while, right? Doesn't that happen once in a while?
Trev's like, I didn't take a stance on this. He was just asking a question.
Same season, your two top wide receivers.
I think it's just a freak. I think honestly, it's a freak incident
I
there.
think it's
and one of the things that people did point out was they play on grass the majority of the season, if not the entirety of the season, and then going to play on the AstroTurf. That was problematic, they think. And honestly, the young kid who injured himself on Monday, that one was a freak accident. Excellent catch by him, but it just happened to be as he was twisting and trying to get himself facing forward, his knee buckled there. So you do wish those gentlemen a big, a healthy recovery and get them back, quickly. I do think that particular injury was big, and that would have put the game a little bit closer.
Yeah, absolutely. When you lose your 2 top receivers over the course of a few weeks, it's going to affect your game, and they had to rely on freshmen. Now, these freshmen that they had to rely
they're
on,
5-star recruits still.
yeah,
sorry.
they're going to be NFL studs in a few years, but right now they're just not ready for that big stage yet. And you saw
think
it with
Bryce
the one
was?
kid. Yeah, I thought Bryce was fine. There was.
Did you not see that one throw that he made with the defender just pancaking him? That was a pro level throw, and then his receiver
the guy dropped. Yeah, exactly. The true freshman dropped it when he put it right into his breadbasket. Those things are going to happen. Whatever. The better team won. Georgia was the better team. You guys were right. I blew that call.
I was right like threefold. I picked Georgia.
I picked Georgia 2 weeks ago when Stoner said he picked Georgia at first. Remember that? I know he did.
I picked Georgia there too.
Well, see?
But I picked Georgia.
Yeah, I don't see.
Points. I took the points. Trev took money, the money line. He didn't want to take the points. He thought he was just like Alabama could make this like a 1-point game, which for the longest time I was a little worried about that. And I took the under, but I was worried there at the end. I was watching with the good friend of the podcast, Corey Sanchez, on the Warpath. Make sure you head out there and subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. And Toothpick from First String Podcast, head out there and subscribe if you haven't already. They were watching and streaming the game. I was watching with them, and myself and Corey had the under, and we thought Saban was out to get us on that last drive because I thought he was just going to take a field goal just to get you. To get you, because it looked like he was definitely trying to drive for some points, which would have made Toothpick happy because Toothpick took the over, but it ended up being the under after all. And everyone was happy, and by everyone I mean me.
Yeah, because I think like on average it was like 60, almost 70% of all the sports books had the over. So there was a lot of unhappy people. You guys happy? You guys nailed it. Sports
of course
all had the overs.
I'm a sports
most
guru,
of the money,
dude.
You are. Hey, you almost nailed your upset pick. I mean, they only lost by like 30, so you almost got it.
I almost got it.
Well, hold on. We actually did some dollar right before the game. How
yes, we did.
Doing those?
Stoner and Trev said that Nakobe Dean would have 2 sacks.
Oh, you went with me, Stoner?
Yeah, of course I did.
That was dumb. That was dumb.
Nathan said no chance.
All right, so
Trevor said Georgia. Okay. Trevor said Georgia was going to win by 12.
How many they win by?
They won by what was it? 33-18, 15, right? So Stoner and Nathan went against that.
Sports guru.
Stoner said Bryce Young was going to have 3 total touchdowns. I don't even know if
how
he
many
had one.
He had one.
Did he even have one? Did he have one?
Yeah, it was tight end across the middle. It was a low throw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor and Nathan went against that. And then Nathan said Zamir White would have over 55 yards. Trevor said no. I didn't get on that one. So I think Nathan might have been like 4-0 on that. No.
Was there a Bryce Young interception?
I was 3-1.
Was there a Bryce Young interception bet on there too?
I made one, but you guys
never consummated.
He threw 2 too.
Yeah. I know.
I said it. You guys didn't like that one, so I made the running one. And you guys didn't like that one, but Trev forced you guys to picking one or the other. You guys took the running one.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you guys a question. How many pros were on that field Monday night? How many would you guys guess? And I'm not talking about just starters and players. I mean all those true freshmen who aren't even playing yet, that are studs.
How the hell are we supposed to say that?
I'm just asking your opinion. I'm not asking you to give me the exact
how many
5 to 10 both teams.
No, more than that. Probably
way more.
If he's talking like up and down the roster, if you're talking freshmen that we really like, even like the Georgia freshmen who we haven't really seen, play yet, you're probably looking at 20, I'm with big moves on this
each
one.
Team?
20, 25, 30 per team.
I would say 25 to 30 per team. I would say there's probably 60 pros out there.
I say 20
I
to
mean,
30.
the amount of talent that these studs in the SEC get. I mean, the last 3 champions: LSU, Alabama, Georgia.
Yep,
The amount of
absolutely.
studs that they get on their teams, it's just incredible. The talent is just unbelievable. So it was a fun game to watch. You're basically watching an NFL game when you watch that game. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching. I stayed up.
Maybe a
for it.
USFL game.
Maybe a college football game is what we were watching.
Well,
you
what
guys.
I'm saying,
I'm with
is
you
pretty much
on
every one of
Trev.
them
I'm
are
with
gonna
you
be
on
in
that
the,
one.
uh,
I'm with Trev on this one. It's not an NFL game.
Gosh.
That's why I was just like, it's not an NFL game. The USFL is the new thing coming out this year on Fox.
yeah, it's coming out in the spring.
which is going to have a bunch of
Antonio
D-list
Brown.
talent. But yeah, Alabama and Georgia, they have some good players. Washington,
What?
they
got
might
some
have a couple.
Alabama studs, and we
Yeah, they
still
got a
suck,
couple good
but-
players. We'll have to talk about how this year went right as we get to the game. Stick with us.
The game is brought to you by Pacers Running Stores. Pacers has 6 stores in Northern Virginia and DC. For the best running footwear, apparel, and gear, just stop by or schedule a virtual fitting with the best running experts in the business. Pacers Running exists to help as many people as possible through running. For every run, it's Pacers Running.
All right, welcome back to the game, folks, where we're going to be breaking down the Washington football year in review. Jason Dela Cruz, yes, you should subscribe. Thanks for
What?
jumping in on us.
What kind of question is that?
Shout out also
that's what you
to
call
Washington
hypothetical.
Football Addicts. Check out to their channel as well. They create some great content out there. Big shout out to Steve and his gang of fans, fan created content. Gentlemen, season
Yep.
did not end how we wanted it to. We all, if we
Does it
look
ever?
back at our season predictions, we all had more than 7 victories. Did not go well.
No.
Where do you think things went wrong for Washington this year?
Taylor Heineke as a starting quarterback.
That's fair.
That's step one.
absolutely fair.
Step one. I mean, I know he came in under unfortunate circumstances. It wasn't like he was handpicked and won the competition, but due to the unfortunate circumstance of Ryan Fitzpatrick going down with that probably career-ending injury, we had to go to Taylor Heineke as our starting quarterback, and that was step one because we all know what Taylor Heineke had from last season. So,
Well, I don't know if we all knew yet. We all suspected. A lot of people suspected that he wasn't the caliber of quarterback that you need in the NFL. Because the one game that we saw him in the playoff game against Tampa Bay, he was fantastic. And that's what got the whole Heineke hype. What is it? The
Heineke Hive.
hive. Got the whole Heineke hive going and everything because of that one game they saw. So a lot of people thought that maybe he could be the answer, but he proved he's obviously not the answer. I think it started before that. And you guys, and
I know what it started
Right,
with.
you know where I'm going.
And I can answer for you. It started OTAs.
That's
when
right.
certain people
You-
weren't showing up.
And you killed me for saying that. For saying
didn't
that
kill you.
Chase Young not showing up to OTAs. Not just because it's Chase Young, but he was the only one not showing up to OTAs. And that set a tone for the rest of the year, in my opinion. I don't think that's necessarily a big deal in terms of on-field performance, but it's a mindset. It's a leadership quality that you have to show when you are the defensive rookie of the year. You have to do things that aren't necessarily fun, but you have to show that guy that you're bumping heads with day in and day out every game, that I'm here, I'm with you, and we're going to go to this war, this football war together. And that set the tone for the whole year. I'm sorry, it did. He should have been.
I agree
Trev's
with
raising
you.
his hand.
I agree with you.
I'm with
for
you.
the
I'm
most-
with you, Trev.
I am for the most part. I am. You're
Yeah.
right. It makes. But he was also defensive rookie of the year. Business opportunities came a calling. Had to happen right then and there, and he took them. If you want people at OTAs, you should probably change the word voluntary to mandatory, because that's the only way you're going to get everybody to show up. I know you can preach and preach and preach. You should be here so we can go to war together, but Chase Young proved that earlier this year. Business opportunities kind of outweigh voluntary OTAs simply because
And
the word
that's
is voluntary.
and that's the problem, Trev.
Yes,
that's
the problem.
No, the problem is that his business opportunities took precedent over the team.
But
I
also,
just
the
wanna
NFL
point
is a
out here.
business. It's a business
It
as
is
well,
a business,
bro.
and they have to look out for themselves. What if that was a career-ending injury he had?
Literally, yeah.
So that could matter.
set
I
himself
want to
up.
point out here. I'm pretty sure Stoner was included in this group. Stoner, by all means, correct
Stoner's
me if
the
I'm
one-
wrong here.
Like,
But after
bad one
Chase
on
Young took down Cam Newton in the first preseason game,
oh, what did you
there
say?
was a large vocal, well, maybe not large, but there was a vocal group of fans who said, that's it. That's all we need to see from Chase Young. You pull him out and you don't need to see him again. And I think I can pull up some receipts there with Stoner saying that's pretty much the same of all. You get one play out of McLaurin and he's out. And you got one play out of Chase and he's out. So
Nathan, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. It's not the on-field part of it. It's the intangibles. It's the things that you can't measure. It's the leadership. It's the being.
That's why Jonathan Allen
it's
is
being
higher than him.
Yes.
It's being there for your teammates. It's all of that stuff. It's
He's also 21 years old, defensive rookie of the year, and he had mad deals and business opportunities.
How did he get those mad deals?
From his play. From obviously his college
so now
play and his defensive rookie of the year.
He's a big name. He's a star.
So he took it for granted.
But he wasn't getting these offers his rookie year. So after his rookie year, he got these offers to go make more money off the field, and he took them. I mean, if it's there and the OTAs are voluntary, I'm gonna go make that money. Just like Nathan said, anything can happen. I can go to OTAs and do a drill and blow out my knee. It could be horrible. And I set myself up because I just took that Under Armour. I just took the shop interview. I just took, this and that to set myself up. So I understand from your point, yes, you should be there from a team family's point of view, but also it's a business. And if you got opportunities to make money outside of just playing football,
at the expense of your team, you're doing that at the expense of your team.
Team building.
Team building.
They're voluntary. Take the word voluntary out.
Well, they're not going to. That's not a Washington football thing.
You're going to have
that's
okay, let me ask you this.
Not gonna
let me ask you this, because it probably won't happen. We draft a rookie QB at number 11, and he gets the same deals because I don't know, for some reason, and he misses OTAs to take those deals. How are you going to feel about it?
Oh, if it's a rookie quarterback,
really the rookie should not miss them.
I'll run him out of
town. I know
it's
not, but just saying.
I'd run him out of town.
It would be seen the same way as Dwayne Haskins taking a selfie when the game's still going on. Which, by the way, I actually didn't hate. I didn't actually. A lot of people piled on him for that, but a lot of people are going to absolutely rally and just get on a young man for doing that one.
Go past OTAs now.
The schedule was a first place schedule, and it showed. They had a lot of elite quarterbacks up this time. We talked about this with EB. Next season, it's going to be a little bit easier. Big moves, seeing 10, 11 wins. And we kind of see that. It's a little early to see that, really predict next year. But with Washington coming in this year, why were we so high on that? Even though they had this first place schedule, why were we so high?
I think because we knew about how we finished the season last year. Even facing these quarterbacks, we knew it'd be tougher, but we were probably going to beat the quarterbacks that we end up losing to that we should have beat. We probably kind of knew that we could beat those and kind of expected that we were going to lose to Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. But just going off the hype from last year, I mean, literally just the way we finished the season, NFC, East Division champ at 7-9 during COVID. We got Curtis Samuel coming. We got Jamin Davis. We got St. Juice. Landon Collins has a new role. We got Sam Cosmi. Gibby's back. William Jackson. That's right. We signed William Jackson. Bobby McCain to help build that already quote unquote stout defense that we had.
Yeah.
And we were let down after 8 games.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think you're exactly right, Trev. When you come off of that season that you had, you only won 7 games, but you played very well in the playoff game, although your defense didn't. Defense was terrible in that wild card game. But you had a top 5 defense. So you're thinking, okay, let's build on the top 5 defense. Let's get better on the offense. Let's get a Curtis Samuel. Let's get a Ryan Fitzpatrick.
They were really bad on offense.
Adam Humphries.
28 out of 32 on offense. And if you could just get to 18 on offense, but keep that top 5 defense, massive improvement.
That's why you were hopeful, but obviously it didn't work out that way. But the schedule plays a major role in that. So we talked about it, like you said, with EB. We talked about the guys that we had to deal with this year: the Rodgers, Allen, Herbert, Mahomes, Brady, Wilson, Dak twice. Next year, the schedule is so much different, and all these teams can beat us. I'm not saying we're going to beat all these teams.
Right.
But would you rather face Josh Allen, or would you rather face Justin Fields? Would you rather face Tom Brady, or would you rather face whoever's playing Jared Goff? You know what I mean?
I'd rather.
So you'd rather face those lesser opponents, and hopefully you can beat them and get a better record.
I'd rather sprinkle in some of those top tier quarterbacks, because if all we can do is beat mediocre quarterbacks, if we ever get to the big stage, we have to face one of those, we're going to show to the world that we don't belong there because we don't know how to play against top tier quarterbacks.
Yeah.
We beat Tom Brady without Chase Young this year. We did. We beat Tom Brady. We beat Russell Wilson. That's 2 top tier quarterbacks that we thought we were going to lose to. We beat. We made it a game against the Packers. Honestly, we made it a game until late. We made it a game until second half against Pat Mahomes. So we kind of hung around with these top tier quarterbacks.
You're right.
Lack thereof on defense. And I think that helps you because you actually get to see where your team is lacking on defense.
That's part of that culture Ron wants to build.
Yeah. If we play Jared Goff and we 6 sacks, it's like our defense is top 5. We're going to play Aaron Rodgers next week. We get blown out by 50. We have no sacks. It's like, oh, our defense sucks. It's like, well, like Dallas, for instance, this year. They put up 50 burgers on us when we had Garrett Gilbert or whoever was in our, COVID-ridden schedule. And then they put up 50 on Philly's second and third string. But when they play first string, they don't put up that many points. You see what I'm saying? So, strength of schedule does help.
I get that, but I don't really care what happens in the course of each of these games. I only care what happens, when you get to the playoffs. And if you get blown out in the playoffs by a really good quarterback because you hadn't faced a good quarterback, so be it. I would rather do that than lose to all these quarterbacks and not make the playoffs.
Well, then, you do want to make the playoffs, but you don't want to get blown out.
Yeah, you don't want to just get what Tom Brady did to us last year.
Win. No, I'm just saying, but one of the things that you said was that you don't want to go into a season and beat all these terrible quarterbacks and not see where your defense lines up, then gets to the playoffs and gets blown out by a good quarterback. Well, the opposite of that is that you get beat during the regular season and don't even make the playoffs.
No, making the playoffs is big.
Playoffs. It doesn't matter how, doesn't matter when, doesn't matter where. That's what you want to see. You got to get into the dance to be able to dance.
Whatever the schedule is, too, by the way, because you'll notice the best teams make the schedule on the first place or on the third place. They're making the playoffs regardless. So you do want to see that consistency year in and year out, something Washington hasn't had over the years. We're going to do a little bit of lightning round. Okay, you guys ready for this?
All right. I am awesome at lightning round.
Should I take my hat off and show my baldness for lightning round? Haters.
Big moves is part of that crowd. Let me see.
Oh, he got his beanie on.
Bald gang representative.
I'm not bald though. I have hair on my head. That's the point that nobody gets. Is I'm not bald. Let's go lightning round.
Here's the rules. Okay, there's no wrong answers, but you gotta be quick with them. Okay, I will buzz you.
You will? Okay, cool.
If you take too long. Okay. All right. Okay. These are just simply best and worst.
All right.
You guys can have different answers. That's fine. Don't need explanations. This is lightning round.
All right.
All right. Let's let me get some music going here for us.
Oh, music too? We got a theme song for lightning round? Man, I'm
all right
now. Let's go.
Best play.
Terry McLaurin catch on the sideline. I think it was Falcons, maybe. I don't even remember which team.
No, it was Chargers is the opening.
Oh,
All right, Trev, you got buzzed out. You didn't get one in there. All right,
I didn't know. Are we speaking one at the same time?
Same time. Get in there. Get in there. All right. What was our worst loss?
Dallas, second game.
I'm going to say Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. What was our best win?
Tampa.
What was our best player?
McLaurin.
Yeah, McLaurin.
Ooh, that one.
You got it in just in time, Trev.
Just in time there. What was the worst play?
Taylor Heineke's first snap in the entire season.
That's so mean. Just him playing at all. I couldn't
start off there.
I couldn't really come up with anything.
Trev was going to go with that double reverse into the screen thing.
This is really,
who was Washington's best draft pick?
Dax Milne.
John Bates. Oh, absolutely. Who was the worst draft pick?
Devin Davis.
I knew it was coming. De'Ami Brown could give him a pick for the running back. St. Juice. The guy has concussions. Best free agent.
Bobby McCain.
Humphreys.
Ooh, you guys were taking lightning round.
Yeah, I know.
Worst free agent.
William Jackson.
Curtis Samuel.
Could have also done Fitzpatrick. Could have also done Fitzpatrick. All right. Last one, just for fun here. Who was
this is last one?
Last one. Best coach.
Jennifer King.
Shout out Jennifer King. All right, absolutely. that's gonna end our little lightning round.
All right, I enjoyed that.
Jason in there with the lightning round as well.
I think another reason why we didn't succeed is we don't have depth anywhere outside of. I mean, offensive line depth we do, but defensive side of the ball. I mean, we saw it with COVID. Because, I mean, that's probably going to happen again next year. We have to be weird with that. And we don't have – the depth we did have was not very good depth. So I think we need to attack our depth a little bit better than we did this offseason.
Yeah. So depth is something I think that it takes a few years to build up quality depth, because I think depth you really get over a few drafts here. You brought up the O-line. The O-line was exposed a couple times, but statistically – they did rank fairly high. In fact, PFF had the O-line ranked 4th, thanks to Washington Football Addicts for the stat here in our comment section. And Taylor Heineke just couldn't get it done. He couldn't get it done.
No,
he's a high end. I know EB came on and he was just like, he's like number 24 of all the QBs. I wouldn't put him that high. He is a quality backup quarterback. I will say this. The man did win 7. He went 7-9 this season because he didn't start the Chargers game.
He also missed one. He didn't play another game because of COVID.
Yeah, he had the COVID because Garrett. Played.
So then he would be 7-8.
Yeah.
So not a bad season win-loss. But here's the thing: it's a team sport, and if you look at a lot of those victories that Washington had, they were winning by. We have it on the bottom here. The 4-game win streak was largely a ball control offense where they dominated the line of scrimmage, ran Gibson and McKissick, and all Taylor's responsibility was don't give the ball away, which he did, and they won 4 in a row. J.D. McKissick, probably the most underappreciated player on the team. Maybe I should have put that in the lightning round. Because he goes down and Washington's offense just didn't seem to be able to put it together. Not that they were really lights out with him, but they were at least doing things with him on the field. What you got, Trev?
I know the 7-8, it's a nice sounding stat, but if you actually sat down and watched Taylor Heineke play, he played worse than that 7-8 stat. I mean, he really did.
That's why you can't just look at the box score when it comes.
Yeah,
to
you
things.
can't. So I don't know if he's even that good of a solid quarterback too, because we've seen him. He used to be known for coming in, taking over the game when it's like when we're trailing, coming back and getting us the win and put us. He really didn't do that much this offseason. That 4-game win streak,
in the second half, yeah,
that 4-game win streak, we were ahead of those games, or if we were like down like a score, so it didn't have to call for too much of a comeback. But I don't trust that man to come back to be called in an important game as quarterback 2 if your quarterback 1 goes down or has to miss a game for something. I don't trust him coming back from a 2-score deficit to lead you to victory. I think he's a managing quarterback, but I just don't think he has it in him to.
Well, I'll put it this way: if you compare him to all the other backup quarterbacks in this league, I would put him in the top 5 of backup quarterbacks. And don't you want that on your team in case your starter goes down?
Who's your top 5?
Want somebody? I mean, I'd have to go through the list, but there's probably not 5 guys I could even name. You know, maybe there's a Gardner Minshew.
Minshew, Colt McCoy.
I mean, Colt McCoy, come on.
Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer's like 40.
He's a backup.
Did you go Wolf to Colt McCoy as if you don't want Colt McCoy?
Yeah, you don't know. Colt McCoy. No.
Casey Keenum. Or Case Keenum.
Case Keenum. I don't even know if he's probably still in the league somewhere. Yeah,
he is. He's literally back up to Baker Mayfield for the Browns.
And he played a couple games this year.
Yeah, I know. A lot of these guys.
Your list would be horrible because you don't even know who's playing and still.
Well, that's kind of my point.
Won games for Arizona while Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he won 1 game. He won 1 out of like 3. Okay.
And what do you want a backup quarterback to do?
Exactly. And my overarching point in all of that is we get all caught up in these numbers and these backups and everything. If you have backups in there, no matter where they come from, they're not going to be good enough. They're backups for a reason. And if you're playing your 4th center and your 5th linebacker and your 6th receiver, that's not good, and you're going to lose the majority of those games.
Jimmy G came in and won.
Pointing out that we were down to the 4th and 5th linebacker.
4 games in a row when he was the backup quarterback in New England. So it's very doable. And he went to the Super Bowl when he left.
Yeah, that's a quarterback in New England.
But that's what you want your backup quarterback to do. If you want to come, you want him to come in and win games from the jump. Not, I don't think Taylor. I just don't. I want to move on from Taylor Heineke because I hate talking about that kid.
Yeah, well, he's going to be here next year. He's going to be the backup next year.
I have a hot take.
100%.
He's not going to be the backup this year.
He's going to be here.
You don't think he's going to be
unless
the backup?
Nope.
Okay. I mean, because he's going to lose the job, or they're just going to cut him.
He'll be the 3rd string. He'll be on this roster.
You think
I'll bet you $1 right now.
Yeah, he's going to be on this roster.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah, they trust him. They trust him. He knows the offense. He's not going to go out there and throw up all over himself when you need him next year.
He did that for us already. What are you talking about?
All over himself.
I agree. They don't. You heard that in the comments. All the coaches' comments. He's not going to. They don't want him to be the starter. Okay,
nobody wants him to be the starter.
They're going to do everything in their power for him to not be the starter. But he's going to be on the roster.
Did you not see our reactions? Half our reactions were Heineke making us react like this. He throws up all over himself all the time.
That interception in the game.
I disagree.
That was just. Yeah,
he's had a couple where he's not
a fine
great.
Backup quarterback. He's a fine backup
quarterback.
Yeah, he's not the only problem that Washington needs to get past. What are some of the other holes that became apparent over the course of the season? Linebacker depth. Mike linebacker.
Depth in general. Our cornerbacks, we don't have any depth. Corn Elder, Daryl Roberts.
Yeah, but those guys again, those guys are like 5th and 6th guys. There is nobody better than those guys around the league.
That's what I'm saying. But
people still upset Jimmy Moreland was let go.
Yeah, Jimmy Moreland was let go. There's other people out there who are better than Corn Damn Elder. I promise you that. But I'm just saying, like, we need depth just in case, because our franchise gets hit with the injury bug every single year, and it hits us hard and when it counts. and now COVID helps. So we're gonna have to like sign some 1-year vet minimum deals, I think, in this offseason.
Well, okay. Look, they have their whole roster. They have their practice squad. They have their all of these things, right? And then guys start getting hurt. Guys start going in protocols, and you start using that all up. So you're in the middle of December, and you need a defensive back. They're not just hanging around at your door. You have to go find some guy who's out on the street, and you got to put him into your starting lineup. We saw that with the linebackers, and we saw that with guys like Corn Elder. And I don't even know that linebacker's name that started that one Sunday night game or the Monday night game, whatever that was.
You're right.
They're not even in the league, and then all of a sudden he has to be starting.
Well,
so there's no way to like plan for that because you only have so many roster spots.
There kind of is. David Mayo had a roster spot from day one. There's no reason why he should have a roster spot from day one. He was a backup. That's what I'm saying. We can get better veterans than David Mayo out there to be our depth pieces because
maybe, yeah.
Don't necessarily agree on that because what David Mayo is bringing, and this is something this coaching team valued, and they mentioned that, and that's the reason why Gilbert got the start over the other quarterbacks was he had game day experience, right? So they value not only they're not looking for guys who are off the street who just have great skill sets, who can run the cone drill fast and do all these other things. They want guys who have that kind of experience, which is why David Mayo saw the field. He also saw the field because they incorrectly assumed Jamin Davis could play Mike linebacker, middle linebacker, which is a little concerning given the fact that both Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio are linebackers themselves, or were linebackers. They have that pedigree. I really think I do think that there might be a time where he can get there. Jamin Davis can get there, but this year was not that year.
If he plays in the right position, he could probably.
If they played him on the outside, which is what Ron Rivera said is his strength, then I think we would have been talking about him in a much better light. But the problem was they forced him into a position that he just wasn't ready for.
Told y'all from day one, they're asking that man to do way too much for his rookie year, coming from Kentucky, even at that. Way too much.
I think so.
And everybody except for up here was like, no, give him time. Well, all these other rookies in the same position as him are succeeding in the NFL right now.
So Trev says that the depth has been exposed, and he thinks that's something they need to build on. Stoner, did you give an answer to this one?
What was the specific question?
What did this season kind of show you that Washington needs to improve on this coming up?
I mean, we already talked about contract. I mean, quarterback.
Quarterback.
I mean, that's obvious in the linebacker for sure. But you have to either figure out that Curtis Samuel is the guy or De'Ami Brown is the guy. You have to find that second piece opposite Terry McLaurin.
Shout out to Jason in the comments. I put it up there. Offensive power is definitely one of those things. Taylor Heineke or no, there's offenses that move. Like there's a lot of people who knock Baker Mayfield, but that Cleveland Browns offense still can do powerful things. And so you would want to see that coming out of Washington. Maybe. What did you guys feel about Turner's offense?
I was going to say maybe Turner needs to find a new philosophy on offense and get rid of his dad stuff or stuff he used in Carolina because it ain't working. And we had weapons, okay? We had weapons, even though some were injured, but we still had Terry. We still had De'Ami. We still had Humphreys. We had Dax sometimes. We had Gibby. Bates, Seals Jones. We had JD, JD. We had some, but we were so pedestrian. It looked like all those guys were awful because our play calling was so boring. It was nothing exciting. And when he did call exciting, it was at the wrong damn time. wrong. Wrong time
Trev,
of the
you
game.
you called the opening play that one game. It was going to be a play action deep bomb to Terry McLaurin.
And you
it was
can't
the
throw
Dallas
it.
second game, I believe.
Yeah,
and he just can't hit it.
No.
And so here's the thing. I actually didn't mind the play calling. I think that Scott Turner had the team just has limitations.
Yeah. So
now, sometimes the play calling was atrocious. Now, I'm not
Yes.
trying to give Scott Turner an entire pass here, but there were some severe limitations based off of the personnel that he has, right?
So coach
you
to
bring
those limitations then.
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Part, I agree.
Yes,
that part I do
You
agree.
had
Coach those
18, you
limitations.
had 18 weeks to coach Taylor Heineke in this offense, and he looked different in almost every single game.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sophisticated to, fully understand offenses and what they're doing and whether or not it's a good offense or a bad offense. But you have to look at the end product and see what you got. And this offense was not good. However, when their offensive line was healthy and they could run the ball and they could say, okay, we're going to pound the ball. We've got this new tight end. We've got John Bates over there, and we've got Gibson, and we've got the strong offensive line. Let's do that. And they did that, and it worked. And then guys started getting hurt. J.D. McKissick got hurt. Offensive lineman Scherff got hurt. Cosme got hurt. Schweitzer got hurt. Tyler Lawson. All those guys
Chase
started getting hurt.
Roulier.
Chase Roulier.
That was a big loss for the
all
season.
those guys
He's still in the boot.
Yeah. So all those guys getting hurt has an effect on your ability to have successful offense. So but I wouldn't care if you said Scott Turner's fired. I'd say, okay,
Me too.
that's fine. If you say Scott
you gonna
Turner's
bring in?
coming back, I'll be like,
a bunch of
okay,
people.
that's fine. So
I don't
because
know
I'm not
that there's
sophisticated
necessarily a
enough.
whole lot of hot names right now as far
You
as
can find somebody.
that you can, but I don't necessarily think Scott Turner's the problem. I'm going to give some shout outs to some people who have recently joined us. We got Redskins Weekly in the chat. We got Kalu, who's bringing that Eagle stuff in here. We appreciate him. Shout out to him finishing up his senior year. He is a big Jay Reeves guy, so we appreciate that. As far as the Eagles comment, though, you're not going to.
we can't have that.
We can't.
Was Scott Turner our offensive coordinator last year?
Yes.
Yes.
And our offense was atrocious.
Shout out to Angel Soto as well.
And they're bad. And he's only been an offensive coordinator for if you count the time here, for 2.5 years. Because in Carolina, he didn't take over the offensive coordinator until halfway through that year before they all got fired. Right. So, or he ended up going through the rest of the year. Once Ron Rivera got fired, he stayed on. And he only did about half the year as an offensive coordinator. Before that, he was quarterbacks coach or something like that. So he's only been doing this for 2.5 years.
Position coach.
I think so.
Maybe that has something to do with it.
And we literally have to get a quarterback in here to maybe
that's-
that can fit
that's
his
it.
offense, and maybe his offense will look better because the quarterbacks he's had to coach for us probably didn't really fit the offense he's looking to.
Well, you should never do that. You should always design your offense around the talent.
You should, but Scott Turner obviously.
But maybe they bring in Deshaun Watson, as we talked about in a previous video. Maybe they bring in Carr, like one of the comments in there. Maybe they draft the guy, as Jason's asking us in this comment here. We're not going to talk too much about the draft this episode. We will be talking about the draft as we come up. It is a good question. This is the second Kyle Hamilton, that one that came up here. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I do not think they draft a quarterback in round 1.
I do.
Okay.
At least with the first pick. I'm going to make that they might jump back into the first round, late first round, but they're not taking it with their first pick. It's still early. A lot of things are going to happen with that. This season's done, guys. We're not going to continue beating the dead horse. We will be talking more about players individually and what to look forward to in free agency and those kind of things, as far as whether or not they're going to keep Scherff. That's going to be its own separate topic entirely. You can look forward to more of that great content coming up on our channel. But right now, we're going to go ahead and hit the cool down button for today, and we'll be cooling down with some playoff talk, where I'm going to talk trash to those Kwame Eagles coming up here on the cool down.
We're going to talk.
All right, gents. It is disappointing that Washington's not in the playoffs and two
used to
NFC East teams are. We are unfortunately too used to that. What are you two excited about hitting for this playoffs? You guys got any guesses for how this playoffs are going to go?
I don't know if I can go all the way to Super Bowl, but I think the Eagles shock the world and beat Tampa Bay, and that would be awesome because then it's literally wide open. Because as long as Tom Brady is in the playoffs, I don't care who he's throwing to, who he's handing off to, who's coaching him. He has a shot. He's Tom Brady. So until you eliminate him, it's whatever. But I think
you would choose the Eagles over Tom Brady. I mean, as far as rooting for.
Yeah, I want somebody different in the Super Bowl.
Oh man!
If you're gonna represent this, if you're gonna I'm damn sure not rooting for the Cowboys.
Well,
and if we want the NFC,
no one's cheering on. No one's cheering on the Cowboys.
Rooting for it. If you want the NFC East to stop being looked as the least, then
I don't care about that.
Well, I do because then nobody wants to come to our damn division if we make to the playoffs and get blown out or barely make the playoffs with whatever. So I want the Eagles to shock the world and get the defending champions out of there and make things super interesting.
Okay.
All right, let me ask you this,
Trev is in the minority here because I'm going
for
Tampa Bay.
I am not picking
Trev.
No, why?
Did you just say
division rival?
It's better than the Cowboys.
Well,
I don't want Tom Brady. I want Tom Brady to go home.
To make it out of this weekend. I want both of them to lose this weekend. Let Tom lose next weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
To who? A better team than the Eagles?
Who cares?
Nah, dog. I want the Eagles to win so then they can get blown out by a better team next round. Because their hopes would be high, like, we beat Tom Brady in the playoffs. And
how about this?
And not Tom Brady.
How about this? How about they get blown out by Tampa Bay, and then whoever Tampa Bay plays blows Tampa Bay out?
No,
wouldn't that
dude.
be best case?
If Tampa wins this first game, that gives their team more time to get healthier and Tom Brady to get more weapons for them to make a Super Bowl
Their
run.
receivers are beyond broken.
We've seen this before. Even last year, they had a healthier team, but they were 9-5 going into the playoffs or something like that. 10-5, I don't know. And
they got hot at the end.
It's Tom Brady. He made everybody that we talk about. He made them. Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, Andre Dillon. Everybody.
I don't know who Andre Dillon is. Corey Dillon, maybe?
Corey Dillon, maybe. Yeah, that's him. He just made all these plays. He's had less than he's had at Tampa Bay and won the Super Bowl. So until he gets knocked out, he has a high chance of getting back.
There are 4 teams that are in the playoffs right now that have not won the Super Bowl. Can we cheer on one of these teams instead?
That's why I want Tampa to get out, because if you give that, I'm telling y'all, man, if Tampa wins, this is their hardest game.
Let me ask you this, Trev. Let me ask you this. What if Tampa and Philly were playing in the NFC Championship? Would you root for Philly?
That's tough.
Silence is golden.
Would you?
No, I would never root for Philly. Ever.
Well,
against anybody.
I'm picking and hoping. I'm my own damn person. I can do what I want. So I'm picking the Eagles.
Right.
To
you definitely can
do
whatever you want.
Jason's taking
49ers beat the Cowboys.
I hope they do.
The Bengals lose first round. Their hype is over. Sorry, but their hype is over. And then the other upset and the Raiders lose their first round game.
Raunchy understands, by the way. Raunchy understands. Eagles need to be on the couch.
The hottest. Please. Oh, my gosh. Well, obviously, but I don't want Tom Brady in the playoffs at all. We want somebody else.
Kwame can't even pick his own team, by the way. He's taking the Chiefs and the Rams in the Super Bowl.
As long as he's got Gronk and a running back and offensive line, he's fine. He's fine. Yeah. Thank you, Kwame. Thank you. But it's not going to happen. Go Eagles.
And then my hottest
pick.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
We got a hotter take than you picking a division rival.
The Pittsburgh Steelers upset the Kansas City Chiefs first round.
That's a pretty hot take. They're right now 12-point underdog.
It don't matter. It's playoffs, baby.
People are posting that it's Big Ben's retirement game.
Tell you. They were saying that same stuff in week 7. Now where are they at? At home watching this man in the playoffs. So that's all I'm saying.
That would be a storybook ending for Big Ben if they were to end up in the Super Bowl. I would like to see. I agree. Someone's mentioned out there Cincinnati would be a fun one to see. Let's see who else hasn't made it. Buffalo is Stoner's preseason pick.
Yep. Mac Jones.
Those two from the AFC have not made it to the Super Bowl, or have not won the Super Bowl rather. And then Arizona has not won a Super Bowl. And I thought there was one more in there that I brought up, but I might have been wrong. So, but at least 3 of those teams then haven't won a Super Bowl. So
the number 1 seed who has the week off, Tennessee.
And that's the one. That's the one I was missing. I'm looking at the schedule and I'm like, there's one I'm missing. Tennessee has not won a Super Bowl either. So
Steelers win.
We'll see.
And the Eagles win.
Okay. I can't wait for Dollar on Sunday. Well, wait, some of those games might have already taken place, so I can't take his money.
All right, let's pick Saturday's games because we won't be able to pick Sundays and Mondays games. All bets aside, check that out. Sunday at 11, we will be making picks on the rest of the playoff schedule. But let's go ahead and make just some generic picks here for Saturday's games. Saturday, 4:30, you got Las Vegas versus Cincinnati, both 10-7.
Are we picking with the spread, or are we just picking straight up?
Money line, just pick straight up.
Okay. Yeah, I think Vegas. I think Vegas is going to upset in this game, and that might be oh no, I can't pick that because that's Saturday. That was going to be my upset of the week on all bets aside. Yeah, I think Vegas. What do you think, Trev?
Vegas.
I'm taking Cincy. I think that Cincy. I think Vegas's run has been pretty special, but I think it ends here. Saturday, 8:15 on CBS. New England and Buffalo for the 3rd time this season.
Yep.
The boogeyman in upstate New York.
Well, here's the thing about
Western New York, actually.
Western New York, yeah. Here's the thing about that game. That's going to be another one of those terrible weather days as far as temperature. Right now, they're calling for like below 0 temperatures. Wind's not going to be as bad as the last time that they played. So I think I got to go with my guy. I got to go with Josh Allen and the Bills on that one. So that's who I'm picking. I got Buffalo in the bad weather.
They probably will, but I'm picking the Patriots because I'm right. I think Bill Belichick has created this master plan for his rookie quarterback to succeed and beat the Bills, who are not that good at home all year. I know playoffs is a different season, but still, they're not good at home, and their place is always packed week 1, week 7, week 18. So it's no different atmosphere. It's just another game. Go Patriots.
I really wish the Bills would have been up against any other opponent this week, and I would have felt better about picking the Bills. Unfortunately, they go up against the Bill Belichick, and I just feel like New England's going to squeeze this one out, and it's just going to just be disappointing for our Buffalo Bill friends.
Once again.
It's just,
which is Ron Rivera's model franchise. Supposedly, he always compares everything to Buffalo and how they build their team. So
we'll see how it goes. Again, you'll have to catch us on Sunday where we'll be.
The only 2 games? Okay.
Yeah, those are the only 2 games. On Sunday, we'll be talking at 11 a.m. in the morning. All bets aside, where we'll be putting our money where our mouth is on the rest of the games. And weather permitting, as we're supposed to be getting some weather on Sunday, we plan to live stream the San Francisco and Dallas game, where you can hear us jeer against the Dallas Cowboys.
I might actually root for the Cowboys just to make you guys mad.
Okay, so this is now a 2-person show.
Sorry, Trev's been booted.
We will have none of that.
I think Trev leads the league in getting booted out of the
absolutely.
I do. I lead the league in that and hot takes and just trolls and all that stuff.
I will say this though, Trev. At the beginning of the show, I thought maybe you were kind of in a poopy mood. You weren't happening. You were just not feeling it. But by the end, we got you back to the Trev that we know and love.
Trev. We got
the whole Trev.
Yeah,
yeah. Am I right? At the beginning, you were just kind of pissy or whatever.
I was.
Poopy.
He was expecting to have to talk about the Washington season where he knew they were disappointed.
Yeah,
I could
We've
keep going
got
on
green
about that.
pastures ahead of us.
Do
We're
we?
gonna be
I'm tired of hearing that. We say that every damn year. We got greener pastures ahead of us, and they're all
every year
brown.
we
Excuse
believe
my
it.
language, but the pastures.
And every year we believe it, and every
not
year
believing
we're
them.
back.
I am
and
not.
On Groundhog's Day. You're going to be just slurping up every last bit of that announcement, and you're going to be getting some
I would be
fresh
hyped.
gear. Yeah, absolutely. Every
You
year.
want me not to be hyped because we're getting it's new merch. We're gonna look different. We're gonna have
There's
a
only
name.
one. There's only one groundhog, by the way. I'm just saying.
You sure?
It's not Groundhog's Day. There's just one.
It's his day.
It's
the
Groundhog Day.
It's the Groundhog's Day. Like it's Stoner's Day.
It's Groundhog Day.
Okay. So
yeah.
are you sure?
I'm
Look it up
just-
right
yeah.
now. Dollar
Okay.
right now. It's Groundhog's Day.
We'll let them decide that. I'm going to close out the show. So catch us on Sunday, all bets aside, 11 a.m. Eastern. We'll be back Wednesday, 7:30 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can catch us there. We're sponsored by Pacers Running. For every run, they'll take you through your New Year's resolutions. Make sure that you hit your goals. We're also sponsored by Skybar. You can check them out in Lexington, Virginia when they open.
Very, very soon.
Super excited for our man Trev down there who is managing Skybar. Love to have everyone in the chat. Shout out to those who we haven't. Janet T is new.
Jankity.
Ranchi is Jankity there. We had Matty O jumped in
What's up,
there
boy, Matty O?
as
Yep.
well. So shout out to those who jumped in the chat. Always appreciate. Make sure you hit that subscribe to our channel. We appreciate. We did hit over 500, so we should be unlocking the community feature here soon. So
Thank you all very much for helping us reach that level too.
for your support. And until next time,
What, Nathan?
be a fan.
We love Washington, and we some die-hard fans. Yeah, we are. You know we keep it on 10. Let's talk about the offense 1, 2, 3, let's go. And they gifted. We are ref the district. Podcast. Come on now and join us.